All right, all right. Week 2. All right, let's get these rosters ready. Let's get some start sit questions. Let's get going on some um, injuries, some last minute rollouts, sits, players that aren't playing inactives. Looks like Jawan Jennings is going to play today, so that's good. But how dependable is he going to be? That's also a question that we have to ask ourselves. Um, I don't believe Jawan Jennings is going to. I don't believe Jawan Jennings is going to last too long, but then again, you never know. Um, ain't no telling. Really ain't no telling. Let's see here. Let's get all this stuff cleaned up over here. It's going crazy, man. Crazy, crazy. All these cords. So let's see.
Lawrence, Brian Thomas Jr. chemistry up in here too.
Well, Daniels, I'll tell you what. One catch for 11 yards looks terrible because it is terrible.
But it is.
If you dig a little deeper, it's worth noting that BTJ drew 7 targets to track Hunter's 8 in a game in which the Bulls did not need to urgently push the ball downfield, right? He also scored that end-around touchdown, which indicates to me that Liam Cohen is motivated to get the ball in his hands. I think he's going to bounce back tremendously in this matchup against the Bengals, whose defense remains generous. I think he's going to flirt with 80 receiving yards.
Ooh, I love betting the over on BTJ receiving yards. I think he's going to have 100. We heard Liam Cohen, like you said, say BTJ needed more targets. I'm going to be ladder bet for all it's worth. If you think he's going to get to 100 yards, yeah, do all the top up to that point. Love that. Speaking of our friends over at ESPN, that has a very special parlay put up with us for some of the guys we have talked about today. It's not Becky. We're talking Brian Thomas Jr. over 70 plus receiving yards. Bruce Hall set 75 plus rushing yards, and Devon chance to find the end zone. That special parlay pays 7-1. Please wager responsibly. And before we go, let's do a little bit of fantasy trivia here, my friends. Who is the only player in the last 20 years to score 30 plus fantasy points on fewer than 15 snaps? There's a hint. His name has been said a few times today. We got the answer for you when we come back.
Is that what FL's going to think of me?
People, we're good. Squad goals and squad. We're good for these guys. Cheers. And these guys. Cheers. Jim Beam, best enjoy team. Official spirit in U.S. soccer.
Calling all fall fanatic. The new DQ fall treat menu has arrived for just a limited time. Go fall in and enjoy the pumpkin pie blizzard treats, or try our new caramel toffee cookie blizzard treats. Taste them before they're gone. Get it delivered in the app.
Room for 6 full-size actions. Lexus EX, 3-row luxury. A car that doesn't elevate everyone's experience. It's a car that stops short of amazing.
Years of hard work. Decades of dedication. Committed to giving back. You've been there, done that, and you're still here for more. So now that you're 50 or older and at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia and IPD, be proactive with Capvaxive, a vaccine specifically designed for adults to help protect against pneumonia, an invasive disease caused by certain types of pneumococcal bacteria. Capvaxive is the only vaccine that helps protect against the strains that cause 84% of IPD in adults 50 or older, compared with up to 52% by other pneumococcal conjugate vaccines. Don't get Capvaxive if you're allergic to the vaccine or its ingredients. Tell your doctor if you have a weakened immune system. Common side effects include injection site reactions, feeling tired, headache, muscle aches, and fever. Whether you've had another pneumococcal vaccine or not, ask your doctor or pharmacist about Capvaxive. Lasagna?
Lasagna.
Lasagna. Lasagna?
60% of cats are overweight. Feed them Heinz healthy weight. These eyes,
These eyes make us say eat.
we take it all in.
These eyes I got from my mom, which I got from my mom, which I got from my mom.
They help me make this.
Nailed it.
These eyes are important to me.
Because they're the only ones that
Why I take them here to American Pet.
With a team of doctors and associates, believe everyone's
Eyes
deserve better, especially these ones.
America's best. Every eye deserves better.
Cheerios is made with oats.
And the bees.
Cheerios. Make the tasty whole grain oats. They full of you feel that all they choose it and recharge fire. Feeling the keys. What's next to get 7 with ABC and ESPN? Charges Raiders XN ESPN.
Ball now. Here's our fantasy. A big
trigger sheet. He was the only player in the last 20 years to score 30-plus points and fewer than 15 snaps. Before we reveal, we're going to take a guess. Let's start over on that side. We've got Daniel Tyler and Liz. Yeah, venture a guess. Anybody. And so if I'm going to venture a guess, Field Jace, I'm going to guess that it is somebody that has maybe some return ability if they only play 12 snaps. I'm going to say Ted Ginn Jr. Good one.
Okay. Yeah, the clue that we got is the name was mentioned.
We already.
That might have been on this day in history. It's either him or Darren Sproles.
Shut up.
Be running back because the explosiveness. So because I was so wet by that segment, I'm gonna go with Darren
Darren
Sproles.
Sproles as well. All right. What about you on the desk? Field Jace, what are you guys thinking? All right, you want to guess here?
No, I got all my guesses are taken. All my guys. It has to be somebody who was mentioned today. I was thinking of Jimmy Graham when he had those. He was hurt. He only played a few snaps. That's my bit.
Michael Pippen Sr. Okay.
Oh,
We're going to go with active player. How many criteria are there? Come on, I'm going with this is wrong. Now that can't be my guess. This is right. I was thinking maybe rookie season Javonte Williams. He came up a lot today. Well, totally feel. I'm just I'm going with my head right
Well, answer is. All right, let's see it. All righty. Do this.
Wow. 4 for 147 and 2 touchdowns on 5 targets. Only 8 routes and 12 snaps. Yeah, you're that's your next guess. Yeah, man, I went through 100 names in my brain.
Yeah.
Did not. I remember that.
Alrighty. So we're looking at fantasy impact on which matchups today. All right, so we've got first Jaguars Bengals. All right, so with Jaguars Bengals, which players do we want to focus on? So obviously you got Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter on one side with Travis Etienne. No more Tank Bigsby. He's gone. Tank Bigsby's gone. It's the Travis Etienne show, spelled by Bashal Tootin, just a little bit. So
So I think maybe his interest in not being too confident he could still get some Sunday and without any setback, the expectation is not going to be out there. But I think the idea is that we have to make sure that we talk to him today.
You were talking about the numbers in the face and simply I'll name the beneficiaries of the fight was Juwan Johnson. Brian started tight end.
all right. Okay. So how are we looking on all right, scores? Here we go. Let's see what we got.
Team leading targets last week. You're going to see one of the best seasons of our Henry's career.
Doesn't feel good. All right. So Joe Burrow. There we go. All right. So Joe Burrow, Trevor versus Trevor Lawrence. This is going to be a really good game for the Bengals. I mean, if you got Bengals players, fire them up. I think this is going to be ridiculous. Bengals players are just going to absolutely kill it today. You're not going to have much to worry about there. You're going to be able to play Joe Burrow. I mean, T. Higgins. You're just all of them. You're going to be able to just play all of them. It's going to be ridiculous. As far as your Jaguars players, let's see. There we go. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I think today you'll be able to play Travis Etienne and Brian Thomas Jr. I think you'll be able to play them confidently. But other than that, I don't think there's much on the Jaguar side. Not that the Bengals defense is good. So that's a good thing. So I think that Trevor Lawrence is going to have an okay day. This could be a high scoring game, really. I would look for Bengals Jaguars to be a high scoring game. I'm not confident in either defense though. So you can go ahead and fire up pretty much all the pieces on every defense. I mean, on every offense. So coming up for their 12 o'clock game, we got Giants Cowboys. Fire up your Cowboys players. I don't think you're gonna have a problem with that. Go ahead and fire up CeeDee Lamb. Giants defense isn't great, so it's not like you're gonna have much to worry about there. Cowboys should steamroll the Giants. So if you have Dak, if you got CD, even Javonte Williams in the goal line, it looks like they really want to use him in the red zone. So that's something you can trust. As far as Russell Wilson going, man, I'm not crazy. I don't trust Russell Wilson. I don't. If you do, that's fine. I do think that Malik Neighbors is going to get shadowed. He's going to get double coverage today, so they're going to have to look somewhere else. But I don't like the Giants offense. You took Malik Neighbors early, so you're kind of forced to start him. But I mean, with that, you're kind of stuck with Malik Neighbors on that, so that's fine. But as far as the Cowboys their side goes, I would definitely fire up Dak Prescott. I think he's going to have a great day with CeeDee Lamb. That's going to look really good for you. So go ahead and fire them up. As far as defenses goes, I don't like either defense. So, but I got to give the edge to the Cowboys on that one. So looking over to Bears-Lions, we've got a good rivalry game here. Obviously, I'm going to go Lions on this one just because the Lions have a way better offense, way better defense. They're just a better team in general. So if you're betting, bet the Lions. They've got the spread at looks like a spread at 6.5. Total is 46.5. So they should definitely put some numbers up. I think it's going to be more Lions putting numbers up though. So I think you can confidently fire up Jared Goff, confidently fire up Sam Laporta. I mean, go ahead and fire up obviously St. Brown. That's a given. Where nobody's even thinking that St. Brown's gonna be questionable at all. Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, this is going to be a really good game for all of your Lions players. So go ahead and fire them up. I'm not gonna use Week 1 as a measuring stick on what happened. I don't think Week 1 tells us anything. So as far as Caleb Williams going, again, I'm not a fan of Caleb Williams either. I don't think Caleb Williams is a very good quarterback. He's not accurate. He can't throw on time. He's gonna. For fantasy football, yeah, okay, you may be able to play Caleb Williams, but I wouldn't trust him because, yes, he could run the ball in for 2 touchdowns, but he's going to give you maybe like 150, 175 yards passing, which hurts for Rome Odunze, Colson Loveland, all those fantasy assets that we love. Very, very young Bears offense. I don't like the Bears players this week. I think that the Lions are just going to dominate this game. So for that reason, I'm going to say fire up your Lions players. If you got any questions about who to start, who to sit, trades, anything like that, let us know. But as looking at our next game, so our next game is Rams Titans. All right, so we're gonna have Matt Stafford. So you can go ahead and fire up Matt Stafford if you have to. If you have a better option, definitely go a better option. Neither one of these quarterbacks should be starting on rosters unless you went quarterback in like your very last few picks. That's the only reason you should be starting Matt Stafford. I think you can confidently go ahead and fire up Kyren Williams and Puka Nacua. This is going to be good for them. I don't think the Titans have a very good defense, so I think the Rams are just going to roll the Titans. As far as Titans players go, I think Tony Pollard's your only option on the Titans. He's your only option. But the problem is they may get behind and they may have to pass the ball, which is going to hurt for his rushing yards and rushing touchdown ability, but it's going to help for his pass catching. And if you're in PPR leagues, that is where you're going to dominate, is with Tony Pollard's catching ability. So that's where we're at on that matchup. Moving on to our next matchup, we're looking at Patriots and Dolphins. Another rivalry, another interdivision matchup here. So I think the Patriots are going to take this one. I think Drake May is going to have a really good day through the air. I think that TreVeyon Henderson, I'm confident TreVeyon Henderson have a big game. Big game. I do think the Dolphins are going to come out swinging, though. Okay, so these two teams are going to try and put up – oh, excuse me, coffee's coming up. These two teams are going to have a lot to prove, especially the Dolphins coming off that massive embarrassment by the Colts in week 1. Tua is going to come out and try and sling the ball, I believe. Mike McDaniel did not like all the ridicule he got. He wasn't a fan of that. So he's going to come out and try and say, you know what, week 1, that wasn't real. This is the Dolphins. So look for Devon Achane and Tyreek Hill. We saw the big baby fit that Tyreek Hill threw on the sideline. I think that is going to be something that Tyreek Hill is going to say, hey, I want the ball. Throw me the ball. So look for Tua and Tyreek to connect. So if you have to, fire up Tua, if you have to. But I think this week you can confidently fire up Devon Achane because you took him early enough. He's your running back. And I think Tyreek Hill. So go Achane and Hill 100%. Go ahead and fire them up. That's not going to be a problem. On the Patriots side, TreVeyon Henderson. And let's pump the brakes on Kayshon Boutte just for now. I want to see it one more week before I just say, hey, Boutte is a confident starter for me in like a flex, or Boutte absolutely should not be your wide receiver 1, 2, or 3. He should be a bench stash, a depth piece completely and only. So don't overhype Boutte so much to where that you are saying, oh, I'm gonna play him. He had a big week 1, but that was week 1. Let's not overreact to that. So out of the Patriots-Dolphins matchup, I'm going to confidently fire up TreVeyon Henderson, okay? I'm a believer in TreVeyon Henderson. I'm going to confidently fire up Devon Achane, and I'm going to confidently fire up Tyreek Hill, okay? Because normally when these big-time wide receivers, they throw these fits and all that stuff like that, normally they'll get the ball the next week. And especially with Mike McDaniel getting embarrassed last week and all the ridicule, I think he's going to come out and try and have a point to prove and say, hey, we're going to throw the ball. Let's get Tyreek the ball. Okay, so look for that. So Tua should have a lot of attempts today. All right, so if you're doing betting or anything like that, I would go the over on attempts for Tua and look for Achane and Hill. That game right there could potentially be a high-scoring game, depending on how it goes. Our next matchup is going to be 49ers and the Saints. So Brock Purdy is out today. All right, so Brock Purdy's out. They're starting Mac Jones as your quarterback over there. So you're not excited about it, any of that stuff like that. But George Kittle's out. I mean, everybody's pretty much out on this offense. So the offense is going to revolve around Christian McCaffrey. Go ahead and fire up Christian McCaffrey. He is going to be your workhorse today. Use CMC until the literal wheels fall off of Christian McCaffrey. So on the Saints side, all right, Alvin Kamara, Juwan Johnson. Those are pretty much it. So with Spencer Rattler being the quarterback there, Kellen Moore knows he doesn't have a stud at quarterback. He doesn't even have a good quarterback. So fire up Alvin Kamara and Juwan Johnson on the Saints. That is it. That is it. I'm not firing up anybody else on the Saints until they have a better quarterback. I do like Kellen Moore's offense. I don't like their quarterback situation. If Derek Carr was still there, it'd be, we'd be talking differently because he can actually pass the ball and be serviceable. But for 49ers, Christian McCaffrey, that's it. I don't think Pearsall is going to help much because it's Mac Jones is going to be the starting quarterback today. So, but I think Kamara can be good for you. If you're in Dynasty and you have Kamara, I would look for getting a couple weeks, a couple good, strong, productive weeks. And if Kamara's not, you know that Kamara is not going to be your guy next year, or maybe you're not going to make the playoffs, then I would go ahead and trade Kamara for whatever you can in Dynasty. Try and get, a second. Like if you can get an early second, that would be ideal. I doubt anybody's going to give you a first if Kamara is just kind of like mediocre. Our next matchup we're talking about is the Bills and the Jets. All right. So Bills are this shouldn't even be close. The Bills should just mollywop the Jets. So that shouldn't even be close. But the thing is we had Josh Allen coming off a monster game where he had a crazy comeback against the Ravens. Everybody loved it. He proved why he was a league MVP. So Josh Allen is going to be your guy. So if you have Josh Allen, obviously you're firing up Josh Allen. You can fire up James Cook. James Cook looks good. As far as tight end at Dalton Kincaid, pretty much just Josh Allen and James Cook at this point. I know Keon Coleman had a big game, but he only had a big game when they were making their comeback. They weren't using him a lot early game. So that's tough. So Keon Coleman is kind of in a way he's game dependent. So you don't really like that from, somebody. But Keon Coleman is not your wide receiver 1. He shouldn't be your wide receiver 2. He definitely should be your wide receiver 3 on your team. But if you have to, we don't have bye weeks yet, so it's not an issue. But if you have any injuries, anything like that, okay, Keon Coleman. But I wouldn't trust Keon Coleman. Just go Josh Allen, James Cook on the Bills. And then on the Jets side, we got Fields, Hall, and Garrett Wilson. Braylon Allen, you can keep him stashed if you have whatever like that, your taxi, keep him on your taxi until Breece Hall gets hurt. But Breece Hall is your guy. Okay, Breece Hall's the main running back. That's not going to change. Aaron Glenn loves him some Breece Hall. The only problem is Justin Fields is stealing those goal line carries, those important goal line carries that Breece Hall needs to get those points, those rushing touchdowns. That's the only thing that really kept Justin Fields relevant last week is his legs. So if he can keep that going, now the Bills defense is good. All right. So this is going to be tough for the Jets offense. You drafted Breece Hall high. He's one of your top RBs. Play Breece Hall. Okay. Trust in your superstars. Okay. Don't panic. Trust in your superstars. If you see after 3-4 weeks, hey, they're really not getting it done. The team's going a different direction, then you should probably go in a different direction too. So if you're in Dynasty and you have Breece Hall and okay, I'm not going to make the playoffs. Breece Hall is coming up on his third year. He's going to need a contract, this and that. Go ahead and trade Breece Hall for, a first plus 2 firsts, whatever you can get for him, but don't sell too low. Garrett Wilson, I think they're going to try and look for Garrett Wilson, but Mason Taylor, hear me out on this. Mason Taylor could be a sneaky play today for targets. Okay. Mason Taylor is healthy, but for fantasy, that doesn't help us because you don't have Mason Taylor on your roster. Okay. He's not going to help you for redraft. But if you have, if you're in Dynasty, I probably wouldn't start him still. So fire up Breece Hall, fire up Josh Allen, fire up James Cook, fire up Garrett Wilson. Those are the only 4 that I trust out of this game here. Because I think the Bills are going to get up, they're going to get a lead, and they're going to coast. And then the Jets are still going to be trying. Good thing is Breece Hall can catch the ball pretty well. So that's not going to hurt you at all. Next, we got Seahawks and Steelers. All right. So for all you terrible towels out there, today the Seahawks aren't anything to be afraid of on defense. So your Steelers people, all right, you're going to be looking at firing up DK Metcalf, firing up Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I think DK Metcalf is going to get open at will today. He's going to make some plays. Look for him. Probably, I would say Metcalf gets a touchdown and maybe 7 targets, about 89 yards. So I think DK Metcalf's going to have a really good day against the Seahawks. On the flip side of that, with the Seahawks, they're facing a tough Steelers defense. Okay, so having Sam Darnold, who did not have a great outing week 1, Zach Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Cooper Kupp. Hey, sorry, I get some more coffee. So look for Jackson Smith-Njigba and Cooper Kupp. I think they're going to be trailing, and they're going to have to pass the ball. All right, so you're going to get JSN, you're going to get Cooper Kupp. Fire up JSN 100%. Fire up Kenneth Walker 100%. As far as Sam Darnold and Cooper Kupp, I would temper expectations on that. But those are who I would fire up out of this matchup. So if you're watching, if you have any roster questions, any trade questions, anything like that, go ahead and put them in the comments, and we'll talk about it. Our next matchup here, we're going to go with the Browns and the Ravens. We saw the amazing game that the Ravens had. Yes, they came up short. Okay, I get it. They came up short. But this should be an embarrassment for the Browns because the Ravens are just going to kill the Browns today. Look for the Browns to be trailing a lot. Okay, so here's the thing. Dylan Sampson is going to be key in this game today. Okay, I think Njoku, and I also think that Harold Fannin Jr. could be key. But Dylan Sampson more, though, because we saw what he can do catching the ball. Okay, so Dylan Sampson, that's the one in the Browns that I think you want to trust today. The Ravens defense is, they're so badass. So that's the only reason why I'm gonna temper expectations on Jerry Jeudy is because of that defense. So I'm gonna look for the Browns to use more underneath stuff, using Dylan Sampson out of the backfield, using David Njoku, using Harold Fannin Jr. Those are the guys in the Browns that I would trust today. As far as the Ravens, fire them all up. Fire up Lamar Jackson. Obviously, you drafted him in the first few rounds. Start Lamar Jackson. Start Derrick Henry. Obviously, that's not even a question. I think Zay Flowers is okay. He had 7 receptions and a touchdown last week. I think that they're going to look to him just because Mark Andrews is like older and slower. So I think you can use Zay Flowers maybe as your wide receiver 3, or if you have to in your flex if you have space. So that's good for Zay Flowers. Okay, those are the only 3 that I'm really going to trust. Everybody, because the Ravens aren't really like a spread the ball around kind of team. They like zone in on one thing, especially when you got Derrick Henry. Bro, come on. You're using Derrick Henry, man. Dude got 169 yards last week on 18 carries, so he's doing pretty good. So those are who I'm looking at in this matchup. Dylan Sampson, pretty much the only Brown that I'm very confident in starting this week. So looking at our next matchup, we've got the Broncos-Colts. Okay, so with Broncos-Colts, the Broncos are a really good defense. All right, let's not be crazy about this. The Broncos are a good defense. Sean Payton is an amazing coach, so I trust Sean Payton to be able to draw up a good plan against the Colts. I'm not going to overreact to the Colts week 1 just beating the brakes off of the Dolphins. Because they're having a challenge this week. They're facing a really good team. So that's something that we're going to need to keep an eye on. I think this is good for Tyler Warren. We saw what Tyler Warren was last week, and I don't believe that was week 1 hype. I don't believe that was a fluke. I believe that's just Tyler Warren. So if you have Tyler Warren as your tight end in your league, you went late, drafted Tyler Warren, I think you can confidently fire him up. As far as Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor, fire up Jonathan Taylor, fire up Tyler Warren. These are the 2 that 100% I'm confident those guys are getting game plan for. And then on the Broncos side, okay, I know J.K. Dobbins stole a little bit from R.J. Harvey. That's kind of a backfield I want to wait and see approach on that. I want to see who is going to run away with this job? Is it going to be RJ Harvey? Is it going to be J.K. Dobbins? Because they both are kind of similar in their hand. Like they both can catch. J.K. Dobbins is the better runner, like as far as size and just has the pedigree. I like Dobbins better, but I'm going to hold the brakes. I'm going to pump the brakes on the backfield right there for the Broncos. All right. I do think that Courtland Sutton is going to have a good game because I think that y'all get, man, tired. I do think that the Broncos and Colts, this should be a shootout. All right. I think this is going to be a shootout. They're going to put some points up. Go ahead and trust Courtland Sutton. And if you have to, go ahead and get Bo Nix. If you love Bo Nix, go ahead and fire Bo Nix. But if you have a better quarterback option, go ahead and do that. So our next matchup here, we're looking at, let's go with the Eagles-Chiefs. So Eagles-Chiefs, that's something that Super Bowl rematch, all right? We saw what the Eagles did to the Chiefs. The Eagles embarrassed them completely. I mean, it wasn't even close. The Chiefs got a touchdown at the end that didn't matter, didn't do anything at all. I think it's just going to be the same old thing. I think the Eagles are just going to beat the mess out of the Chiefs. The Chiefs, they don't have the tools to compete with the defending champion Eagles. So fire up Jalen Hurts. Obviously, fire up Saquon Barkley. I think A.J. Brown being forgot about last week. I think this week he's going to have an okay game. But I think this is more of a Devonta Smith game. So I would fire up Devonta Smith this week over A.J. Brown. Call me crazy. Let me know how it works out for you. Hopefully it works out in your favor. But next we got Falcons-Vikings. I think that's going to be a shootout. I think Falcons. I like what I saw from Michael Penix last week. I did. I know they didn't come away with the win, but I liked what I saw. I liked that he was throwing on time. He was using Kyle Pitts. He looked really good. So Bijan obviously is going to Bijan. He's going to be his guy. Look for him to get you another touchdown, possibly another 100 yards. Vikings. I think Jordan Mason is going to run away with this job here. I would probably give it maybe one more week to see, just to see if how you like that. But obviously Justin Jefferson, JJ McCarthy is going to be looking for Justin Jefferson. All right, T.J. Hawkinson, use T.J. Hawkinson. Those are going to be your studs in that. So even for tomorrow or tonight, let's look at tonight. We got Chargers Raiders. I don't like the Raiders, man. I think the Raiders' offensive line is so bad it hurts Ashton Jeanty. I don't think Geno Smith is a good quarterback. I thought he did well in Seattle because of that system. But look, that's just how I feel. Ashton Jeanty is gonna struggle because of their offensive line. Now, if Brock Bowers plays, you can trust Brock Bowers. Okay. As far as the Chargers go, you got Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is awesome. Go ahead and fire up Justin Herbert. Fire up Amarion Hampton. Okay, I think this is going to be a really, really good game for Amarion Hampton, as long as they can contain Max Crosby. But we just got through saying that Justin Herbert's really good, so I think he can get the job done in the air with Ladd McConkey and Quinshon Judkins. So go ahead and fire those players up. So always bet on the like goes always bet on Geno interceptions. In Geno we trust. That's true. And he said Hurts rushing TD and Josh Allen rushing TD, 3 times more money on there. Hey, there you go. There's your bets right there. Go put those bets in. You got 4 minutes. 4 minutes until those are live. But let me know if you got any roster questions, start sits. We've got 4 minutes until we start. Just looking over some lineups here, making sure I don't have any inactives in my lineups. Looking good. Look, there we go. Just like I was talking about, I got Tyler Warren in my starting lineup, Travion Henderson in that starting line, and Devontae Smith. So look, I back up what I say. I'm not just saying it. I'm actually putting these guys out here. And Keon Coleman on the bench, because I don't think Keon Coleman is going to be a big deal there. I think they only used him just because it was game script dependent. So who do you think on your team is going to be somebody that you need to really watch and stash? Like, what are some stashes right now that we're looking at that we like? Let's see, Tyreek, New Orleans. Oh yeah, I got San Francisco's defense against New Orleans. Ooh, that should be juicy. Oh, that should be so juicy. So Quinshon Judkins is supposed to play today, but he's not going to play a lot. So if you have him, man, don't play him. Don't play Quinshon Judkins. This is going to be a Dylan Sampson game for sure. All right. So don't get too crazy. Let's see here. Drake London's good. Yeah, with Purdy out, I'm not trusting Mac Jones' ability to pass the ball. Butte is my stash. I'm with you. I like Butte as a stash. So actually, my cousin and I, we were big Kayshon Butte fans when he was at LSU. So that's somebody that I liked, that I thought was going to be. Where the hell's my lineup on this? There we go. So I thought that was going to be somebody that was going to come into the league and just dominate. And of course, he goes out and his senior year, he has a horrible senior year. Just LSU was not good that year, and we saw that. Okay, that's just kind of how it went for that, which sucks. And then he gets drafted to the Patriots, which if you saw, the Patriots aren't good at drafting wide receivers. Bill Belichick was not good at that. I don't know what that was all about, but look, that's the world we live in. And Kayshon Butte now, I think, is getting some play with Drake May and Mike Vrabel in this new regime here with Josh McDaniels. So I don't think we have any cause for concern here. I think this is going to be really good. All right, all lineups are submitted. Good, let's go. All right, do we think Emeka Egbuka? Oh, what, LSU equals wide receiver? Hey, it's hard to say no. It's hard to say no. Look at all the talent they put out. Okay, you can't argue that. So Slayton, I agree with you. LSU is definitely a wide receiver U. But hey, there's a case to be made for Ohio State. Look at what Ohio State's been putting out. That's gonna be a tough one. We should definitely do that. LSU versus Ohio State for wide receiver university. Who is going to be the dominant school for wide receivers? Is it going to come down to, is Marvin Harrison Jr. going to be good? Okay. If Butte works out, I think that's another notch in their belt for LSU. So it is kickoff time, everybody. I hope this helps you. I hope that we've kind of helped you answer some questions on your roster this morning. I know we got a little bit of a late start, but for me and the fellas at Kingmaker Sports, myself, Slayton, and Mitt, we will see you Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We will be going over our studs and duds for week 2. We will be talking about all things fantasy football. So any injuries, any impact, any people who are getting more snaps, more touchdowns, even stuff that doesn't matter, maybe even telling a few jokes. So tell you what, we will see you, ladies and gentlemen, Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I can't wait to see you there. So long.